Hello, welcome. I'm Helen Claire, and this is a quick post-run stretch sequence. So the one that I do most often is really nice to do straight after your run if it's nice and warm and sunny and if you have some nice dry grass. Otherwise, it's great to do as soon as you get back home. You don't need anything, so we'll get started. Okay, so you just finished your run. You take a long reach up, interlace your fingers and push up. Maybe just rock a little bit from side to side, lengthening out the spine, opening up the shoulders, lengthening the sides. And then from the center, soften your knees and we fold. Rest your chest, your ribcage on your thighs there, if that's accessible. And take your elbows and you could rock, sway gently side to side. As we've done before, if that's a bit too much on the backs of the legs or the back, you're going to stay here. So you're halfway. And even here, you can just start to lengthen the back of one leg and then the other. If you are lower down, you're thinking about lifting from your sacrum. After rocking side to side, you might go forwards and backwards slightly. So you're going slow, you're moving slowly, you're easing into things, easing into the hamstrings. And this is a great release for the spine. Okay, so from there, we want to come down. So down on the floor with the hands, and we'll step 1 foot back and knee down. And bring your hands up onto your hips. We want to make more of a square shape here within the legs, more so than in our sun salutes. Hands to the hips and lengthen the tailbone. So find that lengthening through psoas. Along there, along the front of the hip. Reach the arms. And I'd like you to take a hold of one wrist. So it's my right wrist. It's on the same side as this leg that I have back. Keep the tailbone lengthening, and I'm going to reach over to the left. So I'm reaching over away from this back leg. And if I keep the belly drawing in, the tail lengthening, I get this really nice stretch, not only down the front of the hip through psoas, but also slightly down the side, just into TFL. On the top of the IT band. Five nice, smooth, long, relaxed breaths is good. And the hips want to stay in the center. Good, and then we can come back to the center, release the hands down. If you have the space to, you could take your back knee back slightly and then sink the pelvis down towards the ground. Ease a little bit more into the quadriceps there. So another 5 breaths. And you're counting the exhale. 5 exhales. Okay. So from there, let's just step back up to the top so we can switch sides. Then he comes down there. So ankle under front knee, back knee under the hip. And then reach the arms. So we want to get long. Pelvis tips back. So here I'm going to take my left wrist, lengthen it up. Keep the pelvis in the center and I'll reach over to the right. And you might feel this more intensely on one side than you do on the other. So notice that. So if you are doing this outside, and I've done this outside plenty, but you do want something soft under your knees. Maybe a towel if you've got one in the car, or some nice soft grass. Okay, I'll come back to the center, release the hands. That knee might be fine where it is, but if you can, you could take it back a little bit further. And then we can just get heavy through the hips, through the pelvis. So this is a quick post-run yoga stretch sequence. Great to do as soon as you can after your run. Even better would be to do another additional recovery yoga session later on in the day. Okay, from here, rather than stepping to the top, let's step the front foot back. We come to a down dog. Really push into the hands, lengthen the back first of all. A bit of broadening across the backs of your shoulders, so you feel your scapula moving apart. And then we're going to ease into the backs of the legs. So drop one heel, lift the other. And then switch. So a couple of breaths and then we'll switch again. It's alternating sides there, moving nice and smoothly. Now obviously this is better and easier to do without shoes on. Obviously if you have just finished your run and you're outside, you could give it a go with shoes. I tend to wear the really barefoot minimal shoes, which are pretty useful for this. And then lift both heels. Let's step both feet up part way, but nice and wide. So I've got my feet at least as wide as my mat is here. Bring your forearms to your thighs. So I'm in a high squat. And the high squat version is great, especially if you're practicing your squat. If you can come lower, you could drop the hips down lower. Keep the knees drawing out and the chest lifting. Now you might have your heels off the ground. That's fine. A little bit more work though. And you don't have to spend very long here. If you do one of my recovery sessions, I show you easier ways of doing this posture. But another 5 breaths here if you can, if that's okay, or part way down, part way up. And then we'll fold again. So bring the feet a little bit closer, about hip width. I'm going to rest my chest on my thighs and hold my elbows. It is also nice to do this halfway position, which might feel more comfortable for some of you just now. And then we come up to stand. Let's take one last reach. So interlace the fingers, reach all the way up, release, interlace the fingers behind the back, and open the chest as you lift your arms, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Good, and relax. Well done, thank you. Okay, so that was quite a quick post-run yoga stretch sequence. As I said, that's the one I do most regularly straight after my run, but I think it's such a great idea to do an extra additional recovery yoga session later on the same day. So check out my other videos for one of those. Well done, thank you, and I'll see you next time. If you enjoyed the video, then please give us a like, give us a subscribe, and check out our links just below. And I look forward to seeing you soon.